Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to an episode of Valheim Time. I do believe it's episode 3, and it is the building plans. Now, I'm gonna preface this with I am late to the punch on this. I'm gonna try and get a second one released pretty quickly behind this guy. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I overcomplicated it. I tried to do this big grand build, or just this fancy build. Even it may not even actually. The first one I tried was a big grand one, and the next one was not as big, but still pretty fancy. And I realized, hey, I'm starting out in this world. What am I doing? All I gotta do is build a simple house that looks pretty nice. Maybe try and put in some effort to make it look a bit nicer than the shack I have. And the shack I have back at the sacrificial stones, it's pretty nice. I even had one person say it was an amazing base. I'm not sure if they meant it or what. I'm gonna take it as a compliment though. And if you're watching, thanks for the compliment. It means a lot. I'm not missing any confidence, not at all. Now, but it's just nice to have people comment on your video and say, "Hey, nice base, like amazing base." It's nice. Don't worry though, I'm okay. So I kind of just went through off camera for a little bit and just cut down some wood, as you saw earlier, in this chest here. And just started kind of gathering up supplies. I'm trying to clear out this area right here where I'm looking, but it's gonna take a little bit. So I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna start with cutting some more of these trees down, flattening out the land. And then I will begin talking about the build plan. So yeah. Enter woodcutting mode. Okay, so we got our land flattened out. We got some trees cleared. It's not perfect, but it'll do for now. And as I go along and defeat more enemies and whatnot, I'll get, the pickaxe and things like that. I just don't have that availability right now. I could, if I really wanted to, I think I could maybe go to the Black Forest right now and just start trying. But I don't really want to do that. I haven't done a full-on proper playthrough of this game. I've always had, I've always played with friends who've kind of carried me through, and they did a lot of work, and I always felt kind of bad about it, to be entirely honest. So I kind of wanted to put my own work into it this time, See if I can't do it myself a bit, But yeah, so the idea is we'll build a house right about here. It's not going to be anything too big. It's not going to be too fancy either. I think it'll be bigger than the shack we have back at our place, but I just wanted to have a place a little closer to the shore, to be honest, because I love building harbors in this game. I built one in my previous solo world. I got so far in that world and I fell off the game for a long time, and so I just never felt comfortable touching the world. But also, I wanted to start fresh for you guys, not just hop right into a already played through world. But maybe sometime I'll show you guys. All right, so as you can see, I'm not wearing any armor, and my inventory is pretty empty. And the purpose of that is to try and carry as much wood as I can. Obviously, we have a carry weight, so I'm trying to utilize as many pounds, or whatever you want to call them, as possible. So, to start out, I think I will go... Oh, well. Actually, let's start off by building another crafting bench. We're going to place it somewhere out here, just so we have the ability to build fully. Okay, that should be good enough. Alright, to start off with, we're gonna need a shape. Now, I normally like to start with this. Of course, this guy is coming up in my grill, really. Anyway, so I usually like to start with this. And kind of put it downwards. I don't know if you can see that very well. I hope you can. But yeah, so I like to put it in the ground a little bit more. That way when you put walls attached, or when you attach walls to these guys, it'll be touching the ground significantly. So that way we are actually supported and stuff. Our building is supported. And touching foundation. Let's see here. What's that? 6 meters wide. I think I'll go 8 meters wide. Or long, or however you want to look at it. I think I'm... Whoop. There we go. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 meters long. So 12. Yeah, a nice rectangle form. It's probably going to be the way to go here. Okay, well, I slept to try and skip the night, and it seems to have made things worse. So that happened. In the meantime, we will get this going. So as I was saying before, 1, 2, 3, 4 meter pole, 4 2-meter poles. That makes it 8 meters wide. Because I can do math. Barely, but I can. Ooh. Oh boy, it's one of those spots. Love that. Well, that's just something we're gonna have to deal with for now. I'll fix it once I'm able to hit it with a pickaxe. In the meantime, back to the building. Alright. So I think this is a good start. Looks like we've got an even sort of thing. Well, it doesn't have to be even now, does it? So I could go... could literally go out just 1 meter. Yeah. Just a little bit. And now, we have an odd right here, which would be sweet for a door. So, yeah, we're looking at at least 3 meters tall. So, or a 3 meter tall door. So I think what I'm gonna do is make this just 2, 4, 5 meters tall. And I guess we have this rock here, so that'll support our home for a long time. Until I mine it away, which I will do pretty quickly. I don't like the stones. They're, in my opinion, they're kind of ugly. Well, I suppose I should actually do the rest of the house, huh? So we got this going. I'm just kind of doing some framing here, trying to get an idea of where I'm going. I am going with the flow with this. This isn't much of a plan. I did have a plan going, but as I said before, I just started getting in my head and overcomplicating it and trying to make a show of it, and I realized, you know what? It's not about it's not so much about how nice it is or how fancy it is as much as it is about the journey. So I'm going to stick with that and kind of just freehand this a little bit to the best of my ability. I still want to make it look nice, but, you know, there's only so much I can do. I also have to be really careful because I do not have core wood right now, so I can't just make huge buildings. But I think something I will do is make this section slightly taller. Just by a meter. I think that's really all I'm gonna need. If I do 45-degree roofs on here, first off, we want to go out a meter. Then do 45. Yep. And do the same over here. If I do 45 degrees, get some support going here. Alright, that's a little better. So if I had the roof stop right there and go across here, I think that would look pretty good. Because then the roof would probably go up to point right about gonna do that, see if that helps with support a little bit. Yeah, it does. A little bit. Alright. So the roof line would go right about there. I can't believe this worked right here. That's amazing. Hey, it cleared up right as it's becoming nighttime. That's lovely. Alright, now that I got the rested bonus back, let's continue on with the build. Okay. So this is actually looking pretty solid. I like this look. I like that it comes out a little bit. Now we have to go around and repair everything, unfortunately. Okay. Take that down. Can I turn that off? Nope. It's just not working. Alright, interesting. Oh, that would be why. Alright. That's fine. So we gotta place that guy up there. And I'd say, good rule of thumb, keep going with the meter out dealio. And some food. And I think the 45-degree holes are going to look pretty good here. So I'm going to continue with those. Now, the concern that I have here is that we're probably going to have a wall right here. This roof is probably going to get cut off. So, I'm not sure what the center of the house is going to look like on the roof. But I want to make sure my roof actually looks, you know, clean. I suppose we should continue with the framing. What's that? Oh, core wood, yeah. And then we'll continue with the... Yeah, so I think we'll be looking at something like that. Oops. That. Yep. Alright. Oops. I'll make sure to get some support in there. So I think it might be good to kind of just... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have an idea. And then this roof... This roof should be going kind of back there. Yep. The only interesting thing is going to be this meetup in the middle here, which I think we can actually fix by doing that. Yeah, okay. Cool. Because eventually at some point here, it's actually going to be right here. Whoops. Let's get that proper. There we go. Eventually, we're going to have a point here where things are shorter in one section than the other. And yes, I'm doing that on purpose. There we go. Okay, everything's still supported pretty well. And just to be on the safe side, I am gonna do that just to keep things a little better. Plus, we might need to have that in anyway. So then, looking at the rest of this, it's kind of a weird way to do framing, but oh well. So we kind of have an idea here. Okay. And then we're gonna pop another one of those guys there. And pop that there. Okay. In reality, we don't actually have to... We don't actually have to do this. We can literally... pop that there. And replace these bad boys. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. Like that. Yeah, nice. It's gonna be a little odd, I think, but I don't think it'll be too bad. So, getting dark, so let me go ahead and go sleep, and then we'll get back to this. Alright, now that we're back, continue on here. Okay, so now here's the interesting part, is the roof back here, because I'm going to have two different roof lines going. I got one back here, but then I also have another one right here. So that one... Nope. Nice try, buddy. I'm just trying to build a house, man. Leave me alone. So yeah, this is the interesting part, because we got the two roof lines. And they both kind of, you know, both kind of intersect like that. Now, I'm just going to do this just for the giggles and just mostly to see, like, okay, that's interesting. So I guess I could take this. Yeah, see, it doesn't quite line up there. There's a neat trick you can do. You can put it in the center of this cross like that. Almost. It almost works. Although that doesn't look half bad. Like it's almost like a mini cross. I might keep that. I might just do it. Although it would be better to try and have these meet in the middle. Of course, they don't already. So yeah, it's just kind of it's just gonna be kind of an odd house, I think. But I think it'll still look nice. I think it'll be all right. Let's start by getting some support beams here. That doesn't seem to have worked much. How unfortunate. Let's see if I can't line that up maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this guy. No, apparently not. Let's try again, but maybe do it when it's more clear. Ah. There we go. Alright, that's not terrible. Yeah, we want to build our beam across here. Oh no, alright. Oh, it's gonna play that game. There we go. Yeah, we should be able to pop this guy. Hopefully he stays up there. Okay, just barely. But also just long enough. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. This is a little interesting. So I think... yeah, this is the direct middle. So we're gonna go there. And reposition this beam here. There. And... there. Nice. Whoa. Ah. Wait a minute. Give me that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is great. I think this is going to turn out great. Now I just got to make sure it looks nice once I actually start filling in the frame. Yeah, this is weird. This, I will admit, this portion of the house is weird. But at the same time, like, I could, if I really wanted to, I could line this wall up. There is a cool little trick where, and in fact, you know, I'll show it to you just for fun. There's a neat little trick here where you can take a door and put it just about anywhere. You just specify a corner. In this case, I think we'd want bottom corner 3. We'd line it up with this guy, and they were like, oh, we want this pillar to be, or we want this pole to be just a little bit more over. All we got to do is line it up. So, like, I'll go over here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here, there's 3 different snapping points you can do with this guy. So you can line it up on this pole, on this corner, the center, or this corner. And you can do the same thing on this side over here. Now this pole's already kind of taken up that corner, so it's just going to automatically go to the center. But that's probably about where we'd want it anyway, huh? Probably right about there. And it would be, you know, perfectly lined up and all of that. But here's the thing. I don't want to do that. Also, it's nice to have some character in your house. So let's get some roof put in here. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. And then we'll get up there and do the specifics in a bit. I'm actually going to start from the front side and make my way to the back. Oh. That lines in perfectly. Wow. So what's the problem here? I don't get it. Let's try again then. There we go. I was gonna say I don't understand why it's why it wasn't lining up there. It lined up perfectly on this side. Either way, doesn't matter. We got it fixed. And let's stick with that top corner. Actually, that worked really well. I've never really built this way before. I usually like build all the walls first and whatnot. But I was like, I really want to like work on being better at planning out my builds. Beautiful. We got the squaring right here. The cross. What is this? A cross beam? I don't know. This beam here. Anybody who knows construction, you can tell me. But this cross beam here, I'm going to call it that for now. It's poking out, but honestly, I don't mind it. It looks pretty good. That was an accident. Delete that. Perfect. Okay, good. So yeah, that looks solid. All right, sweet. Oh, yeah, we almost forgot our. And just for detail's sake, real quick. Nice. Nope, wrong one. 45. Oh, interesting. We don't have as much support there. I wonder what that's about. Oh no, that's about right. Everything's at about yellow to green. So this being at orange kind of makes sense. Nice. Everything's at about orange. Beautiful. The roof is successful. And I officially have shelter, which means we don't have any holes in the roof. Wait. Yeah. Oh. Oh, that could just be because I have no walls. Alright. I'm gonna go sleep real quick, and then we'll be back. Alrighty. We're back. And yeah, this is looking like it's gonna be a pretty solid house. Now we just gotta get the walls put up. I was thinking about it. I might actually leave that open space up there. Hey, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was just getting some wood and I was killing a couple animals because, you know, you always need food and deer pelts and stuff. And look what I found. I found a beehive. Okay, as you can see, I may or may not have gotten ahead of myself a little bit here. I put in the walls for sure to start with. Let's just start with that. I put in the walls all of them, and I got the wood that I needed, of course, and I've clearly used some. This chest was like pretty much full. But yeah, so I put in the walls, and I put in a window here. I obviously put the rest of the walls in like so. Hey, what's going on? This is Editor Vaz, and I just want to let you guys know that in this next segment, I'm speeding it up because the video was just getting way too long. But we start out with the flooring, and then we move on to the staircase here, and this staircase took me a little while to design. I was just trying to make sure that it looked nice and that it was a quality looking staircase. You know, I was going for the aesthetic, just because why not? And as you can see, I toyed around with quite a few different designs and just kind of went occasionally to the back of the build, making sure that things were not sticking out of the wall, because to be entirely honest, it bothers me a lot. Sometimes it can't be prevented, and I gotta deal with the stupid grailing here and there. But for the most part, you know, I try to make sure that things stay out of the wall. As you can see, I really toyed around with different ideas here, but eventually I just kind of led with the, I think that's 26 degree wood beam pieces. And eventually I made it all the way upstairs. And if you watch, I actually put my bed over one of the little squares, or one of the posts is sticking out of the floor, and so I put my bed over it. Sometimes you just gotta figure out how to cover things up to make it look nice. And then I do the railing up top, finish that here. And then I start doing the railing on the loft, just making sure that has support. And I do toy around with some roof stuff, but not too long. Now I'm moving on to the firewood, the fireplace, which is perfect. And then once I get upstairs, I notice that there's a smoke issue, so we gotta go do some ventilation work. As you can see, if you saw the red numbers, it's pretty quick. I started getting smoked out, so I noticed, all right, we need to, take care of this. So I changed the roof out, and I basically raised these 3 roof pieces up 2 meters. Putting the floors down above the smoke allowed me to work up there without getting smoked out, which is really important. As you can see, I kind of mess around with a lot of different designs throughout this segment of the speed build. But eventually I had to go from 45 degree roof ridges to 26 degree because it wasn't letting smoke out enough. And you'll see that here in just a minute. And I take the X's out and I move the X's up to line up with the ridges. And I will do the same once I get those 26 degree roofs in there. But yeah, I just played around a lot with it, and it took me quite a while to do this. I'm not an experienced builder, and I did do this build completely off the cuff. I didn't plan it out at all. I had an idea in my head, and I tried to make it as much of a reality as possible until the reality became maybe unrealistic for my goals. Or skills. But then I just switch to the 26 degree roofs and then do the proper supports. And I tried to go for some aesthetic, didn't like it, and redid it. So yeah, once all that was done, I started adding some other things and just kind of tidying things up. Did a check and just made sure everything looked nice. And the smoke was actually going out of the roof this time and not, into my face, which was really important, obviously. So I moved a couple of chests inside the house. And I even put some cooking stations down. And I guess I gotta cook I gotta cook quite a bit of meat apparently. Not sure why I did that, but You never know. And then I go around and place lighting all over the house. Now this made the largest difference in the house because you could actually see where you were going. It wasn't like a mood lighting, but it wasn't super bright in your face either. So I did some downstairs, some upstairs, filled them up with resin, and that was it. Alrighty. So we've completed the house, exterior and interior. So, this is what we're looking at. It's not too bad, not too bad. The back looks alright. Probably could use a little more work, and I think I'm going to do a little bit more detail work as well. Yeah, we got our workbench right here. And we got plenty of space here to kind of expand that way, if we like, which I think I will. I think I'll probably make another building entirely. Yeah, this is what we're looking at for the front. And when it comes to the details of the build, I am definitely going to do more detail work, but it's just something that I'm not going to do in the video because it's just this video is already going to be taking quite a while. So I will be doing it over time as I kind of think of stuff, and if you guys notice, you know, feel free to comment if you notice, like, oh yeah, I love what you did with the X's right there. Obviously in this case, I already did that, but just as an example. Now the interior, looking pretty sweet. I removed the torch that I had here so that I could put some storage in here. But I will be placing a torch down eventually, just once I get two more chests there and a floor on top, then I'll put the torch on top. Maybe. I may even put more chests on top of that so I have access to some like main materials on top from the staircase, because I just thought that would be really cool. So yeah, so we got torches here, and then I had some fine wood from breaking some birch logs. If you watched the first episode, you know what I'm talking about with that trick. And it's honestly one of the best things you can do in the game is breaking those logs early, those birch logs early. But yeah, I got a pelt here, a fine wood stool, and a fine wood bench. And I think I'm actually going to put a table in. You're gonna see this live. I think I'm gonna put a table right over here. That's right there. So eventually I'll be able to put stuff on the table and what have you, and I think it should add to our rested bonus as well. But yeah, you can sit here. Yeah, and the comfort's at 8. And then we go upstairs. And it's probably not much different up here, to be honest. But I put a wood chair here, which is new. And you've seen the torches, so you've been up here. Yeah, the comfort level in this house so far in the living room is comfort 8, which gets us how many minutes of rested? I think it gets us 15. Yep, 15 minutes. That's pretty solid. That is a good rested bonus, and man, it goes higher. It's crazy how much comfort you can actually get going. I haven't even put in these guys, the black banners, or ooh, those actually look kind of nice. The white. I could do yellow. Okay, I could do all of these if I really wanted to. But yeah, so just kind of making things your own over time. Eventually what I want to do is I want to put like a trophy right here as soon as you walk in, because imagine just walking in, closing the door, and then, oh my gosh, something right there. Yeah, I think this build turned out pretty cool. And obviously there's some touch-up I'll do over time. But like I said, it's just over time. And eventually these guys will get closed off with either glass or iron bars. I am not sure which I will do. Probably glass, I think. But that's way down the road. So, yeah. But as we kind of sign off here, this is a good starter house right here if you're looking for something. If you want a tutorial on how to build this, I will happily make one, but y'all gotta request it in the comments. And, you know, share the video too. Because if this video gets shared more, and, you know, then they'll watch it and they'll see the comments, or they'll hear about, you know, putting this in the comments. So please share this, like it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Trying to get those subscribers up. But yeah, back to the tutorial. If you want a tutorial on this house, I will do it, and I will even put in detail work in the tutorial. So that way you don't have a vanilla looking house like mine. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was really fun making this. Difficult for me, but it was fun once I figured it out. So keep exploring. Have a good time.